When do you need to have a legal guardian, or sometimes called a conservator or a guardianship or something like that? If you're an adult, when do you need to have one? So unfortunately, a lot of times guardianships come up or conservatorships come up when a person is just completely unable to make decisions on their own. And now you might have had a power of attorney for someone, but that might not be enough now. It might be to the point where they just are unable to take care of themselves, might be in some sort of unfortunate, vegetative state where they can't think, they can't walk, they can't make any sort of decisions. And now you need basically a court to remove their legal rights and give you or somebody else those legal rights, to act on their behalf. Most of the time where we see this, or a lot of times where we see this, is either when someone was in a serious accident, so some sort of personal injury, or there was some sort of accident, and now they're just unable to make decisions on their behalf, and now we're going to ask the court to name a legal guardian for them. But we also see it a lot of times as older people start to get dementia, Alzheimer's, something like that, where they're just not able to, they're not as sharp, they're not able to make decisions on their behalf. And so now we got to go to court and ask the court to name a legal guardian. Usually what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple doctors come out and review the person just to confirm, because obviously it's a big deal for the court to remove somebody's legal rights. So they want to make sure that it's not just, hey, they were having a bad day. It's just that they really are unable to. Not impossible to do, not hard to do, but one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is who is going to be that legal guardian, right? And so you could have a situation where, let's say you've got two kids, brother and sister, and brother, they both want to be the guardian. So who has that legal right? Well, the court is ultimately going to decide. But what you now, assumedly, if you're able to kind of be making these decisions for yourself now, is you want to put yourself in a position where you get to choose who you would want that legal guardian to be if you're unable to do it on your behalf. So you might know that in that example, you really don't want daughter to be your legal guardian. You just know she would not have your best interest at heart. She's going to have access to your financial records. You're concerned she's going to take the money or whatever the situation is, and you want the son to be the legal guardian. So that's one of the things that you could put into your will, into your power of attorney, into your healthcare surrogate form if you've got one. You could say, look, if at any point I become incapacitated, I'm unable to make decisions on my behalf, this is the person, or these are the people that I want to have legal guardian. And the court, most of the time, unless the person is a convicted felon, possibly has, a shady background, maybe has some bankruptcies, that the court might take that into consideration. But for the most part, generally a good person with no criminal background, they'll defer to your wishes, and they'll probably name that person as the guardian. But if you don't have anybody, the court might name a court-appointed guardian. And, not that they do a bad job, most of them do a perfectly fine job, but you might not want a stranger to be your legal guardian if you could have had the opportunity to name somebody else. So when you're working with your estate planning attorney, when you're planning all your documents, your will, your trust, your power of attorney, living will, all that sort of stuff, make sure you're talking about what would happen to you if you were unable to make decisions for yourself and you had to have a legal guardian appointed. A lot of times people think about planning, it's just the stuff, it's just who gets what of my stuff after I pass away, but it's also while you're still alive. How do you want to be cared for? How do you want to be treated for? So again, one of the things you might want to look at, make sure that you've named a guardian, a court-appointed guardian. Who would you want to take care of you if you're unable to take care of yourself?